Warning, 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 warning. This is a emergency broadcast. Code Red, here we are. Pick up your iPads, your cell phones, and have me and listen to Uncle the Podcast. Watch out. If you're sitting down for this, or if you're standing up, you better get ready for this, because it's gonna hit the eardrums. Uncle the Podcast.
Go. You are listening to Uncle the Broadcast. My name is Aaron. I'm the Millennial. Here with me is the star of the show, Uncle.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. 165. This is the one tonight. Well, I've understood it from the sidekick.
Yeah.
So now we're working ourselves up there.
Yeah, as always, I'm probably right about the number of the show.
Well, I'll take it down.
Usually, I don't even have to tell you. You just know.
Yeah, well, I haven't said it for a long time. That we had a week, and then I'm doing a separate number on the other one.
Yeah, we had the Revolution.
Revolution, that's the second year.
That was the last show we did.
Yeah, that's the second year.
Yeah.
I mean, I have numbers in my head right now.
Second year of the live 4-hour edition of Uncle's New Year's Revolution.
Right.
We'll be back again next year.
Yeah, next year will be number 3.
Get ready for it.
Get this thing.
We have done New Year's little clips before, but only the live show twice now. But, man, it's a good time.
Yeah. We got old Chuck back with his nice Bruce computer.
Yeah.
So, now, what are we having now to talk about?
Well, we can get phone calls.
Phone calls ring?
Yeah, well, if
there's phone calls there, Chuck.
Listeners can call this number to join us right now.
Right now.
319-527-5016. You can come in on Skype
that number.
Charles.Ocelli. Or again, call this number, 319-527-5016. We want you to come on here and talk to us.
Yeah, we need to talk.
We need
I heard the first hour was low. Not very good.
Well,
that's what I heard.
No calls, no.
That's what I mean. It has to have some action.
I know.
You don't have action the first hour.
No action, no satisfaction.
What you talking to?
But we got a lot of people in the chat room, Uncle.
I can hear those clicking, clacking going on. What do they have to say?
Well, let's see here. Creative Accidents, our man, is there again.
He's
saying, hey, Uncle.
Yeah. What?
Sidekick was mentioning Google throwing ads after listening to conversations through microphones. Seeing how Google dictate that you use for text dictation scrambles your words sometimes.
Oh,
I wonder what ads you get.
Oh, I don't know. We have to try them out. Access.
Yeah, I know. That's a Creative Accidents is pointing something fun out, and that I like to kind of mess with the system. I think I am. I'm probably not. But with Uncle's tweeting. Oh,
yeah. My tweeting, sometimes that radio phone of his sometimes understands me. Sometimes it don't. And I'm saying, what did it say? And he goes quack. When he cracks up and starts laughing, sidekick, that means it didn't do good.
No,
it doesn't talk.
And for new listeners that don't know, the way that Uncle's Twitter account works is Uncle does the tweeting.
Yeah.
But the way it works is I use my phone, my Apple iPhone, I use text to speech where I hit record, I hold it up to Uncle, he talks into the phone, the phone dictates what he says into type, and it makes the typed version of what it thinks he said.
Yeah.
Then I copy paste that into Twitter, and that is Uncle's tweet.
That's the tweet.
That's the tweet.
Let you know, people. So
we'll have to do one later tonight. I don't have my phone in here with me. I don't take it everywhere I go.
I know.
I guess I should.
Yeah, because that's the one I listen to. The brain. Not you, brain, number 1. Brain number 2.
Anybody who wants to have some fun on Twitter, follow at Uncle Podcast.
Podcast.com.
Send us a tweet, and we will respond to you, and it will be done in that fashion where I have Uncle talking to the phone, and we'll have a fun, really rational conversation on Twitter. Yeah. The most rational you're going to find on the site, I'm sure.
Yeah, it's going to be a cranking up thing. As I get going with this kind of talk, and I talk to that brain of his, and then his brain starts talking back at me. I listen, and it says what he wants to say. And it goes crazy. And then sometimes he gets a good laugh at it. What he doesn't understand is the brain doesn't have a thought in his head. That's what's causing the fun part of the whole thing.
We got another thing from Creative Accidents in the chat room. This is good. He's saying, and he has a photo that he got of this. He's saying, "Hey, Uncle, when you were showing the butt smacking video from St. Pete on Uncle's New Year's Revolution, Eve, the tablet, it was actually the laptop that we were using, caught the reflection of the room setup. Is your lamp Baby Yoda or an owl?" And you can see the reflection of the lamp that we're using for light on the table.
Oh, so he looked at the lamp
There's a picture. Here, let me see if I can pull this up and swing it around so you can see it, Uncle. The picture that Creative Accents is able to get. You see that? See how the lamp is in the reflection of our setup there?
Of course, it wasn't bright enough. It looks like it was light. It wasn't bright.
That is indeed an owl lamp.
Oh, that was the owl lamp. That's right. That's right. Yeah. That was on the other side of me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Somebody's asking if Uncle's climbed Mount Everest.
No, but we may do that soon.
Uncle did.
Oh, by the way, let's just talk about that house. That's what I wanted to talk about.
The house on top of Mount Everest?
Yeah, the house we're going to buy.
Oh, that one. Yeah.
Yeah, that one.
Landers.
We got a house for you people to understand as he's working on, trying to base what we might do. Something. We might do it on New Year's this next year.
Yeah.
Maybe possible.
Yeah, things are working out very well in that regard.
Yeah,
we have a very specific house that we're actually, working out all the loan stuff and whatnot on now.
Right.
And everything so far has been working out, and it looks like we will be the new owners soon enough of this small desert enclave. Yeah. It's exciting. We're going to have our spot there in Landers, and I'm planning on doing live shows from there when we get the chance. I want to go out there a lot, Uncle.
Yeah, well, on the weekends it's good.
Yeah, exactly. So maybe we can take a weekend and then, we do a live from Landers show.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
That would be great, guys. Listen, I know Uncle always wants to be informed of listeners outside of the country. We have a couple listeners in Ireland right now, Uncle, just so you know.
That listening?
Yeah, on the live stream.
Ooh.
We
got some action going there, Chuck. You're going good.
There we go. Irish listeners.
Did you get that information?
Yeah. Have you gotten the information? Ireland. We need to know.
We need to know if you want to have a talk. Come on, get on the show. Hello?
Folks that are in other countries can come on the show via Skype. Through
on the Skype. They can use a Skype.
So don't be afraid to join the show that way.
If you need to, that'd be a nice way to do it.
Uncle, you know what I did mention in the first hour was the idea of our special get-together with listeners with a camping trip out around Landers.
Oh, yes. I knew you were going to say something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Finally, people were listening?
Well, I'm trying to gauge what kind of interest there might exist for such an event, if there is any interest.
Well, if people like to involve themselves into something like that, they're going up and see us.
Yeah. Well, I'm thinking, Uncle, if we do this event, it will be near where the house will be. It's very near to that location in the same town, Landers. There is a Giant Rock.
Well, yeah, that's.
You haven't been to Giant Rock yet, have you?
No, I don't think so.
Do you know what it is?
It's a big rock.
You are correct. In fact, it's said to be the world's largest freestanding boulder. How about that?
Boulder?
Yes.
What kind of boulder would that be?
A giant granite boulder. White granite on the inside. It's got a fascinating history, actually. Apparently, according to, I think it was Charlie Reche, who was one of the early Americans, white men, so to speak, to start settling the area around what's now Landers, around Joshua Tree National Park, the high desert of the Mojave there. Yeah. He got stories from the original native people who lived there, and they used Giant Rock as this gathering spot where the tribes from many different nations, different tribes would meet there and have this annual meeting where the tribes leaders would meet at the rock and, have their annual meeting there. So it was seen as like this place of spiritual and, for them, political significance.
That sounds interesting.
Yeah.
Told your wife there, though, one time.
Yes.
When we all settled in and everything, we're going to go up the mountain. Going to check out what that neighbor, the guy that had the house, talked about. We're going to go right there and do some hunting.
Oh, hunting?
Look to see what's down that hill.
Oh, hunting.
In that area.
Are we talking about actually like hunting like quail or something? You're talking about hunting animals and like for like game hunting or hunting
in the cave?
Oh, just looking around for different things.
Yeah, right.
There are many different interesting things to find.
Look in there to see. Let's go up there and check for
them.
When you're ready, when they're settled in. I mean,
there are old mine shafts, or there were.
Yeah, I'm going to find out about that.
Goat Mountain, which is a hill, a mountain in the area, was used for mining. People were looking for gold in it. With that's California history. Go west and search for the gold. They were doing that out there in the desert.
Right.
They found some, I guess, but not too much to speak of. And I find that whole story as like a sort of historical metaphor fascinating, actually, Uncle.
Well, yeah. Well, we can investigate.
we can, and we will.
We will investigate this situation that he's the owner guy that owns that house told us.
Uncle, the native people said that Giant Rock was the Earth's heart.
Of
the heart, like the heart in your body. They say that it was the heart of the Earth. What do you say about that?
We must see this place.
You can camp out there because it's state-owned land. You can go out there and do. You can spend the night out there and it's perfectly fine. It's not private property. You can go out there and camp on it.
Oh,
cool, right?
Yeah. I don't do a lot of camping, I suppose, out there on the weekends, of course. I mean, that's the only time we can get out there on the weekends.
Uncle, do you know a man named George Van Tassel?
Funny. Tassel. No.
He's one of the more famous Landers residents, now deceased, but when he was living there, he's an interesting guy because he had worked for like Douglas and Lockheed, so in the aerospace industry, right? Not unusual for somebody here in California to be involved in.
No, it doesn't sound like it.
But then he also got very much into the UFO subculture and was a real like sort of key figure in the early days of the UFO, again, subculture, counterculture, wherever in the world that was. He was a huge into that. And he went out there to Landers, and he knew a guy, this German guy who was living underneath Giant Rock, first of all.
Underneath it?
Yes. There was a guy, Frank Critzer, who had dug underneath Giant Rock, built this one-room subterranean abode underneath Giant Rock and was living down there. Van Tassel knew this guy. Critzer ended up dying in a police raid, apparently. As the story goes, the police threw in a smoke grenade or something and set off dynamite that he had down there and killed him. Oh, you following this?
Yeah. I know what you're saying.
This is just normal desert stuff.
This is desert stuff that if a person passes, you put a dynamite down.
Yeah.
Blows up the place. It's like a minefield.
Yeah. Well, yeah, he was a miner, Critzer. Yeah, he had mine, and that's what he was doing with his dynamite. He was mining out there too. I mean, who wasn't? Gotta get that gold.
That's probably why. I still like the one they go in the water and get it.
Oh, gold?
Yeah.
You mean the ocean?
No, the lakes.
Oh, they dive down in a lake and grab some gold out?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, but I haven't seen any water.
But anyway, back to George Van Tassel. He he used giant rock, and he used the room underneath there to host meditation sessions.
Oh, I remember what you're saying.
You've heard this.
I've heard of this guy.
You've heard of Van Tassel.
Van Tassel. About the meditations that he does.
Yeah.
It's like the tree.
Yeah, tree. A bonsai tree?
Bonsai tree.
Yeah.
And he was... Yeah.
I wonder if they're doing bonsaiing any trees down there while they're meditating.
Possible.
Maybe.
It's possible.
I would have.
Yeah. I had to learn how to do it yet. Sidekick.
So whether or not they were doing bonsai down there, what they were doing, according to them, was coming into contact with extraterrestrial beings.
Whoa.
During their meditations underneath giant rock.
Yeah. They were talking.
I mean, of course they were. What else would they be doing down there?
Having conversation.
They're not only making bonsai trees and meditating, they're also talking to space aliens.
I'm confused about this binary. If they actually have these things coming down on the space, that'd be something to listen to.
It would be.
It'd be something to understand. Where these guys coming from space, you'll be laughing now, sidekick. Oh, if you ever saw one, I bet you wouldn't be laughing. If you were in the desert then.
People out there in landers claim to see things in the sky, so I guess it does happen, and Van Tassel was full of stories of things that he had seen.
So it's possible it could happen.
I guess. That's what they say.
Yeah.
And anyway, he contacted these alien beings from meditating under giant rock, and they gave him the plans for what is now the Integratron, which is also a site out there nearby giant rock in Landers, a big tourist attraction out there these days.
Oh.
I've showed you that building, right?
Yeah. It was a big mound thing.
It's a dome.
The dome.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, it was a dome like we had Matt one time.
Jeffrey Matt.
Jeffrey Matt has this dome.
He lives in a dome in Canada.
And I was talking, and we saw a few of them out there. I said, well, that's the first thing I was talking about. But Sidekick forgot about his name.
Matt.
If you ever understand
that.
Yeah,
we were out in the desert looking at the new house and driving around looking at the sites, and you were going on and on about Jeffrey Matt. I didn't know what you were talking about for a while.
Jeffrey Matt. The guy that was talking to me.
Yeah, because apparently he lives in a yurt in Canada.
In Canada, something like that.
Yeah.
Now that's how we got started talking about that, and I started talking about him.
Indeed. But yeah, Van Tassel talked to extraterrestrials who gave him the plans for the Integratron, which is a building which was constructed for the healing of the human body, and still today you can go out there and do these what they call sound baths. You sit there and they make these sounds, and it's supposed to heal you. And the building was apparently, I mean, it's on what they call ley lines, right, where I guess two of them intersect. And apparently, in reality, actually, if you go to the center of the building, the geomagnetic reading or wherever it is, I don't know much about geomagnetic about much of any of that, but apparently the geomagnetic field is higher in the middle of the Integratron for what that's worth. Yeah. The idea behind that was that, that would make the Integratron do what it's supposed to do. Oh, and it's also a time machine, the building.
Oh, a time machine. Oh, it sounds like the Back to the Future deal.
Mm-hmm.
I know where you're going now.
Doc Brown,
Back to the Future thing.
Yeah, it's a lot like that.
And it goes with the time.
So Van Tassel, he did these UFO conventions out at Giant Rock. He also had an airport out there at Giant Rock, and there was a restaurant out there as well. And Howard Hughes, who I think, Van Tassel knew him from previously, like through his work or through flying or whatever. And Howard Hughes would fly into the Landers Airport and reportedly get a slice of pie from the diner, which was apparently amazing, and then he'd fly back to wherever it was that he lived in LA or whatever. So that's part of the history there too. So it's interesting, an interesting spot. It's got the UFO subculture weirdness going on. It's just it's wacky, but I mean that the distant, forgotten past of it as that meeting place of the natives, I find possibly even the most fascinating too. But it all runs in together, and here we are today.
Yeah. Well, sure, and I like it when it's at night though, because that's more when it gets more excited about any time.
Mm-hmm.
When it gets dark at night there.
Oh yes, very clear skies.
It's clear skies, stars in the sky, like shooting firework. You see the fireworks shoot up with the stars.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's real clear when it's a real clear night.
There's a Riverside Astronomical Society that has a spot in Landers that on the new moon they go out there with their telescopes and everybody looks up at the stars because it's just you get such a good view of them being out there.
We may have to borrow your son's
telescope
to check this out.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah, why not?
Yeah, because this stuff that look up at all these things.
So there you go. Yeah. So now everybody's excited. We have excited about possible camping trip to Giant Rock in Landers.
Yeah, well, I have some when we get going. Well, I have one there to do.
Mm-hmm. So, Creative Accidents is putting links to George Van Tassel and his meditations. So that's cool in the chat room here. And we're also getting a question from Benedict asking, did Uncle fight in Vietnam?
Me, no, my father did.
Your father did. There you go.
First, the first or the second? Second one, I think.
Okay, in Vietnam. He was there. Okay, fair enough. There we go. Piece of history there.
No, he was an Air Force man.
Oh, in the Air Force. Okay, sure. Yeah. Oh, here. Okay, now Creative Accidents is
what's he saying now?
Showing Creative Accidents. I have a question for you.
What's he saying?
Do you know? Okay, it's from 2004. It's a story about Giant Rock now bleeding. Oh, this is part of the Giant Rock history that I neglected to tell, but I'll do it now. So back in the year 2000, Giant Rock had been all in one piece. So it was one giant rock, right?
Right.
But in the year 2000, it split. A piece of it split off the tip. So the tip of Giant Rock split off, and now there's this giant shard of it laying there that split off. Uh-huh. And this is what revealed it to be a giant piece of white granite underneath, because the outside is, all dirty from being out in the elements, but the inside is this white granite. And apparently here, this article, Creative Accidents, is showing somebody painted it all red because it was, they're playing on it breaking apart and it was bleeding, I suppose.
Yeah, that sounds like the part of when it breaks something, you see a bleed. Mm-hmm. And I think that's what he's trying to say.
There's apparently an aspect of prophecy of this, too, where somebody, as the story goes, somebody was saying that, I want to say again, it was a group of native people were saying that the rock would at one point split, and depending on the nature of the split, it would determine the prophecy, sort of like in the way Groundhog Day.
Oh, yeah.
If the groundhog sees his shadow, it's bad.
Right.
Well, the way this prophecy works was if the rock split in half, then humanity would be doomed. But if it only split, a part fell off of it, then that is the earth welcoming humanity into this new era. Everything's going to be okay.
Well, that's what happened then.
Correct. Yeah.
He was saying is what happening.
So the good one happened.
The good one happened. I hear what you're saying.
Mm-hmm. It was a good omen, apparently.
Yeah. Right.
It's just crazy that giant rock sitting there for so long split in the year 2000.
Well, you get settled, like I said, but you get settled and we get settled up there. I'm going to see this crazy rock you're talking about. The main thing, we're going to go look up there and see this thing.
It's one wild rock, Uncle, let me tell you.
Well, I want to see you keep talking about it. I want to find it.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. And the area is just beautiful there. I mean, it's a really special spot. I mean, I sit here and I talk about the desert. I've done it before, and I'm sure there's people listening like, oh, God, the Mojave Desert. Who cares? It's just a bunch of sand and, rocks and a couple of Joshua trees. Who cares? It doesn't even look that cool in pictures.
Well, they're the ones that are saying it. They never been there.
Correct.
If they're the ones that is talking on the show, they haven't been to the deserts.
That's exactly it, Uncle.
And so if you've been there, I can see you talking about it because you've been there.
Oh.
I understand that. But the people that haven't been, they're saying those words, what you just said, to you, I don't know this stuff. But it's true. If it's true, I know it's true. My first time I was there and doing something, I was actually there a couple of times myself.
Yes, that's what I was going to say. You've been there, Uncle. So what do you say as somebody who's been there?
I think it's true that these things could happen.
What things are those?
These stories you're mentioning.
Oh, about extraterrestrials?
Extraterrestrial. But I'm going to find out what they look like. That'd be another story.
Yeah, I guess you can do that. I mean, all it takes is a meditation session under giant rock, and there you have it. Maybe we can do some bonsaiing under giant rock. And
I would like to do that. I'm trying to learn how to take a chip of a tree, put it on a rock.
Yeah.
I want to try to do that. It's time to do some movement.
Maybe bonsai a nice young cedar tree.
Yeah.
And then a gray alien will just pop right off of the page of a blacklight poster and join us. Be like, hey, mind if I bonsai something along with you?
Well, if you can talk to us, fine. I'd like to have another conversation talk to us.
Yeah. Like, hey, dudes, I was waiting for somebody to come in and start doing some interesting horticultural stuff.
Instead of, hey, I'd have to tell the guy, hey, they had a lot of paperwork to do. You know what I mean? Get over here.
So if you see a UFO, it's fine. They're just coming in to bring the bonsai tree supplies.
Right.
We're going to need some wire. You need maybe a nice special pottery would be good to have.
Yeah, potting. Yeah, it's definitely potting.
Some good draining soil would be nice. Yeah. So we can repot these things and wire them up. Maybe they'll have a selection of alien trees that we could even start bonsaiing. That'd be amazing.
Well, that's what we have to see. Well, like I said, we get out there first and it all settled in, and then we'll start from there. See what you laughing? It's not funny. It could happen.
I know.
The heck you want a sidekick?
I'm laughing at the chat room again.
What are they talking about?
I guess I'll ask this. Creative Accidents is asking, what's Uncle's thoughts on alien anal probes that seem to happen in the desert?
Don't know. I haven't seen one yet.
I don't want to see that.
Accidents? I haven't seen one yet.
Let's keep it that way. I want to keep the aliens I see. I hope
aliens you see.
That's. I hope these are different aliens that we see. The kind that like the bonsai trees and not so much into the anal probing is what I'm hoping for. But I guess you take what you can get, huh?
You got to see what you see. What you see is what you get. Don't you know that by now?
I've heard that. Yes.
Yeah. So you have to see what's here. You don't know what's going to be there. You step out there in the desert. You buy a nice house. We go out there and do an investigation. So we're doing some investigation of looking at all this stuff.
Yeah.
That's all we'll be doing.
I know what you will see. The world's largest boulder.
Well, yeah.
It's guaranteed to be there. Nobody's moving that thing.
No, it won't be touched.
I'd like to see some thieves try to take that thing away.
I had to have 1,000 people. It's like the guy was trying to push a cart out of a ditch. Yeah. No way.
Yeah,
out of the way. Big size boulder sitting there.
I'm still amazed that thing actually split in the year 2000 like that. That's pretty crazy. I mean, there's just so many weird little things like that just, they add to the mystique and they create this curiosity that is just undeniable. And as Uncle and I are saying, you don't quite understand it till you go out there. It just looks like a crappy bunch of sand and rocks and shrubs.
Just gotta go out there, and you'll see these things.
You will.
But people, I know how you are. You don't ever go, you won't ever find them. Yeah. So you go out there, you'll see something.
The big draw, of course, is Joshua Tree National Park out there.
Well, yeah, we went there, though. I was there. We took a camping trip there.
Yeah, the park is awesome, too, right?
But that was down below.
Yeah, we were just outside the entrance of the south entrance of the park.
That was just down below where we were going camping. But
The low elevation, yes. Yeah. Not the high desert area.
Not the high where they have the house.
No. Much different area.
This is what there's couple different areas in them areas.
Is out to the entrance that's just a little east of Indio, California. Actually, the name Indio might perk up some listeners' ears, being the home to the Octopus Conspiracy, famous by Danny Casolaro. Much of it was based around Indio and the Cabazon Indian reservation there.
Oh, yeah.
Cabazon Band of Desert Indians, their reservation, and the sordid goings-on that were purported to happen there.
That
fascinating story.
Gone crazy. Them people, and someday you might like to hear a nice kind of story. A desert story, pretty nice, like you're saying about the SWAT. It's very good to understand the story about it. There's a good starting. Yeah.
Even the terrifying stories are good stories because they're interesting.
Yeah.
The octopus is quite terrifying in many places, but that's the there by Indio, nearby the high desert of Joshua Tree and Landers and that area up in the high Mojave Desert. But my gosh, it's just wow. You know where else I want to go in that general area, Uncle, is the Salton Sea.
Oh yes, talking about that Salton Sea.
Mm-hmm.
There's something in the salt. Trying to find the sea in
sulfur.
Sulfur. Yes. Oh yes, I heard about that.
It's crazy there.
That sulfur. Watch it. You don't want to drink that stuff. No way.
No.
You have a problem.
Don't drink the water at the Salton Sea.
No, you do not touch that because I know that feel like you pants on, possibly, if you're not careful.
There's a spot, I cannot remember the name of it at the moment, but basically people live out there. And the most famous spot, I wish I remembered at the moment. I had to look it up. But the most famous spot is this Salvation Mountain, where this guy took a bunch of rebar and covered in concrete and made was essentially this big hillside out of concrete and rebar, and then he painted it, and it says has all these Christian messages like Jesus saves or something like that, and it's very colorful and beautiful, and that's out there by the Salton Sea. So that's another area, but I haven't been out there yet. I'd like to go.
Well, we'll check them out once we're settled in.
Mm-hmm.
Well, first we get settled in for the weekends, and then we'll check these out.
Slab City. Thank you, Anon96.
Slab City.
That's what it's called, Slab City.
Slab City. Who said that?
That's where the Salvation Mountain is located. That's where those folks live out there. Is a place called Slab City. It's pretty interesting.
I could try that out too. Well.
Mm-hmm. So another site out that area. That's that magical area.
There's a lot to do out in that area in the desert.
There is.
So, you think you're going to be bored? No way. Not if you're going to be doing all this walking. You're not going to be. You're going to be nice much to try to find out what's going on out there.
Yeah. You got to go.
Yeah, got to go and see it.
So I'm going to encourage people to call again. If you're listening live, don't hesitate to call 319-527-5016. Maybe you have something to say about the desert. Maybe you've been to Slab City.
Yeah.
Maybe you've seen, maybe you've been to Indio, California, and been to the wonderful Fantasy Springs Resort that now sits there on the Cabazon Band of Mission Indians Reservation. Fascinating place. I know I've been there. I've got some interesting stories about that myself. I don't know. Just that whole area, even from Indio, Palm Springs, that whole low desert area, all the way up to the high desert. I mean, I have, I don't know where even to begin. I have a lot of stories. I've been out there a lot over the years, and I don't know, my fascination
what
grows.
You have to do, like I said, when we get out there, have a broadcast check, and we could talk about what's out there, out there, when they're ready. Well, of course, we have to get it set first. What are you laughing?
I've heard this is a quote from something. Is this from Fear and Loathing? This is from Benedict again. He's saying, "We were somewhere around Barstow when the drugs began to take hold."
Hold.
Is that or is that not from Fear and Loathing, Benedict? I believe it is.
It
correct me
like
if I'm wrong. I think so. You've seen that movie, right, Uncle?
Yeah. Sounds like him, yeah.
It's that's a good movie about Hunter S. Thompson by Terry Gilliam movie. Fun movie. It's a good time.
They ran a nice show out of that.
You've seen that movie, right, Uncle?
I think so.
Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas.
And he was running this plane.
Yes.
Oh, yes. I saw this. Yeah. These clowns would get on the plane all of a sudden and they correct the plane.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
Johnny Depp was Hunter S. Thompson.
Johnny Depp was in it.
Yeah, and then Benicio del Toro was like his lawyer or something.
Yeah, it was his lawyer.
That was an interesting character.
And the other guy, there was another one.
Who else was in that? Oh, Gary Busey made a cameo.
Right.
That was good.
Busey. Yeah, he was in it.
That was nice.
Yeah.
Gotta love when Busey shows up.
He started the conversation. They really get going.
Man, we need to get Gary Busey on our camping trip.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
We can find him. They come around and find him.
Maybe we could get a hold of Gary Busey through Jordan Maxwell.
Who would be the contact to him?
Jordan.
Well, that's who we got to get to then.
I've talked to Jordan on my show once. Chuck has talked to him many, many times.
Okay, we got to get him back on the show.
So, see, there you go.
We'll gotta work on that. There's something we can work on.
Uncle, have you heard of 6 Degrees of Kevin Bacon?
Oh, yes. Kevin Bacon. Yes, sir. I've heard of him.
So what do you think about that phenomenon?
He's something else, that guy.
Fine actor.
He
knows how to dance, too.
That thing, Footloose Debit Dance thing.
Correct.
And that he was doing a pretty good show on that. Talking about that show with him. Mm-hmm. That show, he was really pretty good. But he got into this one girl on the show. And the other guy was a boyfriend. The boyfriend beat up the girl, and he got mad.
He was set things straight, didn't he?
Set things straight.
Took care of that problem.
Guy, and then come to the thing.
No more of that.
Dressed up, and he started fighting the Indian. He said, "Why no? Let's get started dancing." You know how that goes.
Yep.
So how that ended.
So if you enjoy 6 Degrees of Kevin Bacon, you're going to love 2 Degrees of Gary Busey.
Gary Busey.
That's what we got going on here at the Ocelli Radio Network.
Radio Network.
It seems only appropriate that here at the Ocelli Radio Network, we have 2 Degrees of Gary Busey. Far superior to 6 Degrees of Kevin Bacon, I must say.
Yeah, them two are good matches. Why are you laughing?
Wow.
Creative accident.
This is news to me, Aaron.
Oh, it's him again.
You haven't seen the picture of Jordan with Gary Busey?
No.
Chuck?
No,
you never seen that? That used to be up on the...
Hey, Chuck, you better get with the program. Look at these programs.
What do you want me to do? I didn't know about this 2 Degrees of Gary Busey. I mean, I didn't know. You know, Aaron just said we got this at the Ocelli Network, and I'm like, wait a minute, somebody didn't tell me something here. What happened?
Yeah, we didn't. We knew.
It's because Jordan Maxwell knows Gary Busey.
Right.
You have had Jordan on the show many, many times. I've had him on my show once. I've met him once in person. But, I mean, through the connection there, and Jordan knows Busey, I'd say that's 2 Degrees of Gary Busey.
Yeah, it is.
You know, that is fair enough. That is fair enough. Hey, one degree to Eastside Morales, but yeah, 2 degrees to Gary Busey, sure.
Yeah.
I love it.
We're going to get some of these people on.
Yeah.
At least we talked to them.
Creative accidents, I give you a challenge. Find the picture of Jordan Maxwell with his arm around Gary Busey and post it to the chat room if you could be so kind.
Yeah.
I don't think it's that hard to find online. It's out there somewhere.
Yeah, find it, and if you're doing by my hour here, we'd like to see it. If you get.
Creative Accidents asked, Uncle, what's your favorite movie set in the desert? Mad Max, perhaps.
Mad Max, and there is another one. One with an animal.
An animal? Tremors?
Yeah. Tremors.
There you go. That's Kevin Bacon.
Kevin Bacon.
That's him in there.
There we go.
Kevin Bacon's in that, too. Yeah, he's in that.
Creative Accents was leading with that one, I think.
Yeah, I like that.
He knew right where we'd go with that one.
That trailer was going in. They were going into there, and it actually breaking down, and the things were going in the bottom, popped up every 5 minutes, and you seen them going. Get out of here. The damn house split in two.
It's a weird movie, Tremors.
Yeah, that was something. I did see that.
They had to climb up on the rocks. I
had to climb the mountain. I had to climb the rock trying to get away from them.
Yeah.
I just don't know how they actually lived.
It's similar to
to that point, to living in the desert like that, and then trying to hold on to themselves.
Do you know where they were supposed to be? Like what state, what desert it was? Or is it just generally we're in the desert and there are these monsters out here? Do you have any idea, Uncle, with that movie? I mean, I don't expect you to.
No. There was no idea I could have thought. That I don't know. Well, I don't even know where they were even headed. Never mind of finding where they were. They were going all over the place trying to get away from them, and they're jumping up all kinds of rocks. And
Benedict says that it was Arizona. It was Arizona.
Arizona. They made them.
It was supposed to be. Who knows where they filmed it? But I guess it was supposed to have been in Arizona. Interesting.
Well, yeah, Arizona is a desert area.
Oh, that's a desert.
Yeah, that's a desert.
Big time.
Yeah.
Oh, here we go. Okay, so we got a link to the Gary Busey and Jordan Maxwell picture. Oh, it only comes up for a second.
Let me see what it looked like.
I can't. Well, it went away, and now. Wait a minute. I think I can finagle this. You can kind of see the picture of Jordan Maxwell and Gary Busey. Here you can. Okay, here. Okay, I'm gonna swing the computer around so Uncle can see this. Can you see? There's Gary, right? You know him. Yeah. And then that's Jordan Maxwell next to him.
Oh.
See, look.
Those two guys.
They're buddies.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they're having a good old time. Maybe in the desert even. I can't quite tell where they are. They should be there if they're not.
Yeah.
So there it is. Okay.
Whoa.
How can you forget that moment in alternative media history?
That's some history, John.
But yeah, Uncle, we look forward to possibly doing, I hope, quite a few shows live from Landers. I would really like to go out there and just set up the podcasting equipment and do the show from there instead of here in Riverside. Not that I dislike doing it here in Riverside, but I'd like to go out there and do that.
Yeah, because we already go out, and we always do them on Fridays anyway. So we can go out there to do some.
We'll give you all the news. We'll let you know if we see any UFOs or aliens making bonsai trees.
Bonsai trees. I'm very interested in these animals out there. See what we can see.
Oh, yeah. All sorts of interesting wildlife out there, isn't there?
That's one thing I want to investigate in.
Roadrunners.
Boy, some of them things are going fast. Fact, you saw something on the road, I heard. But you couldn't know what it actually was at the time we went out
Uncle
there.
and I, when we went out to look at the house
at the time.
We saw a bald eagle in the tree.
It was a bald eagle.
It was. That's what that was.
It was a bald eagle we saw. But I'm talking about you saw something also on the ground.
On the same trip?
Yeah.
Well, that was just a chipmunk.
Oh. But that went pretty fast.
Or it might have been a ground squirrel.
I don't know where we had to look. So all these animals are flying by. We had to investigate them. Yeah. See how they go so fast. I don't know what they were.
The chipmunk or whatever that mammal was, small mammal, that was in Landers.
Yeah, it was in Landers.
The bald eagle was at a rest stop off of the highway on our way.
There,
yes.
Right.
It was definitely a bald eagle.
Yeah, that was a bald eagle. It had white on it.
It had white plumage on its head. It was a large, dark-feathered bird.
But it was so distanced that...
It was hard to tell for sure.
We need some glasses. Bring your glasses next time.
I did not bring my
That's why. Binoculars. If we could have done them with binoculars, we could have seen it clearly. I would have had to say, pull them up and let me see this thing. I would have wanted to see that, of course.
Benedict's asking a question. I'm not going to ask it, but I'll just say no. This is just the usual show here. This is how things go around here.
This is regular show.
There you go. There's your answer to that. We saw a bald eagle. I felt patriotic just standing there, Uncle.
Yeah, well, you saw the bald eagle. I spotted it. Or he spotted it.
So majestic.
Right by the tree, but they had a house above it.
It was, yes.
A barn or something.
It wasn't a house. It was a small,
barn?
rundown, not even a barn. It was some sort of shed or something. I don't know what the building was, but it was a small rundown building.
Yeah.
And then a tree it was perched in. It didn't fly the whole time. It was just perched in the tree.
It just sat there and looked.
But I could tell it had white feathers on its head. There's no bird that large that has white feathers on its head.
It was an eagle. It was definitely an eagle. But we were so blind to try and for so distance that we couldn't tell if it was a black one or we know a white head. But what else?
Bald eagle. They're around here. They're making a comeback. They're even in Anaheim. My wife sees them at work, right? She
said she saw a couple on the tree.
She does.
She sees them on the tree there. Yeah.
I guess they're regularly in the trees across from her office, which is crazy in Anaheim.
One would sit there, have to be sitting there looking at them.
Yeah. So they're not as rare as they once were. They're again making a comeback.
They're coming back because people started wanting to see because that's a minute for the American flag, sign for the American flag.
Oof.
That animal.
Goodness gracious.
It is.
No, I'm sorry. I'm looking at this video of Gary Busey now. Boy, he looks horrible.
Busey? What's he doing now?
Oof, boy, he does not look so good these days.
Is that old?
Yeah, and he's got some mental deterioration. I want to say it was didn't he get a motorcycle accident or something? And he had some sort of something happened, but man,
that's exactly right, Aaron. There was a head injury from a motorcycle accident some years ago, and ever since then, Gary Busey was like extra crazy. Before that, he was off.
Yeah, exactly.
But like cracked his head, like totally broke the helmet and smashed his head, and ever since then, he's been like otherworldly crazy. So just to let you guys know, though, there's only 10 minutes left of the show.
Nice. 10 minutes. Well, we're going to get try to talk about this whole thing about the desert.
Yeah, this was a desert-themed show.
Desert-themed, because that's what I wanted to talk about it.
I've been reading up on the history of Landers, California.
Yeah.
Seeing as how, we're going to have a stake in that area. We're going to be locals. I want to know a bit about it, and it's an interesting place to read up on.
There's a couple of neighbors that we're going to talk to, and they're going to tell us about it, what's around.
Yep.
And
what to watch out for.
Mm-hmm. So
look out.
Yeah.
Safety. Be careful.
Yeah. So
watch out for hooligans.
Hooligans are fun around. Mm-hmm. Might have to watch them. Mm-hmm. Oh, and also you're going to have to do one important thing.
What's that?
Get a thing in case when we're not there, when there's no people.
Oh yeah.
Put a security alarms.
Yeah,
around that whole place.
Unfortunately, we're going to have to do something when it comes to that. Yes.
Yeah, because I've heard something. They had some robberies.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Up there.
Oh yeah. So you got
worse out there than in here.
Yeah, you got to be careful out there.
Yeah,
it's not all happy aliens and UFO cultists going out there. There's illicit activities out there too.
Yeah. Like I said, we got to get the one with the hat.
The one with the hat.
Security.
Okay. Like the guys that stand outside of Buckingham Palace. That sort of hat.
Yeah.
Changing of the guard.
Yeah, something like that.
We'll just get one of those guys to stand outside all day, every day.
Almost still.
It can't be that hard to do.
Yeah. Well,
we can swing that. Yeah. Hey, the Queen of England can do it. Why can't we?
Yeah. Oh, did you hear? I heard something about that Queen of England.
What that
they want to separate.
They want to separate.
Did you hear about that?
Who wants to separate? You're talking about Brexit?
No, the Queen.
No, he's talking. I know what Uncle's talking about. Meghan Markle and the Prince there want to separate themselves from their royal duties. There's an emergency meeting
like
going
abdicate?
On. Like they want to stop being up front, doing public things for the royal family and kind of disengage Meghan Markle and her husband there. That's what Uncle's talking about.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, he knows.
So sort of like separating from the royal family and the duties that are...
And guess where they want to come to?
The desert?
No. Here. California.
Well, yeah.
They want to move here to California.
They'll probably...
Can you imagine if we see them around here?
They'll probably make a house right in the middle of Joshua Tree National Park or something.
That too.
Yeah.
Well, Megan used to live there when she did the TV show Suits, right?
Yeah.
Oh, she was like an L.A. person?
Yeah, she was an L.A. person, though. Wasn't she?
Probably.
But not the prince and not baby Archie, because he's new, you know?
Oh, yeah, well.
They want him to have...
They want to move. That's what this just said. They did. They want to move to here.
They want the boy to have a California accent, not a British one.
Right.
Kim
I don't know which one is worse.
Kim informs me that Meghan Markle was also a Deal or No Deal girl as well. So there you go. Just other information. Yeah, you know the women that hold the suitcases and open them up when you're watching Deal or No Deal?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I know what you're saying, yeah.
She was one of those girls that they're all dressed the same with the suitcases, you know, the metal suitcases.
Yeah.
Yep.
Is that a game show?
Yeah.
Yeah, with Howie Mandel. You never saw it?
Oh, the Howie Mandel one. Yeah, I have seen that before, yes.
You
haven't seen these shows?
It's kind of like...
Get with the program.
It's like that version of Barker's Beauties or something.
Well, no. Deal or No Deal. What you do is there's a bunch of suitcases, and you start picking out numbers, and you eliminate the money amounts, and then the banker offers you money to like quit the game, and you keep playing, trying to get like $1 million or $500,000 depending on the day. But on the stage, there's all these women that are dressed exactly the same, and they have metal, secured metal suitcases that they open when you pick their number. So Meghan Markle was one of those girls. I'm just saying,
it's like Barker's Beauties, but for a different show.
Okay, maybe. You know what? I vaguely remember Barker's Beauties, so I don't know.
Yeah, the Price is Right. It's just the women on Price is Right that point to the products. They wave their hands and point to the
these
products.
girls are part of the game, though. These girls are actually part of the game where they have to actually, they're set pieces on here instead of like car sales girls, models that pop up and something like on The Price is Right. No, these girls are actually part of the game with the numbers and all that.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Deal. I know what you're coming at. Deal or No Deal.
Yeah.
I know what you. Yes. I saw that.
That's what I'm saying.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. Okay. I knew you knew, Uncle. I'm kind of shocked Aaron didn't know about it.
I was trying to think of what you were saying. Yeah, that's it. That's it. Yeah, that's a good. That was my favorite one, actually.
Yeah. Hey, I knew you appreciated that.
I was watching it.
So look,
I was watching.
Right, 4 minutes, and I'm thinking that you guys might want to get to your shout-outs before we wind up walking out of here. So sorry to interrupt you, but time is time.
No problem. Uncle, who do we have for shout-outs?
Regular people. You know who they are.
Regular people.
And the with the Blade Man for special.
Yeah.
Okay.
There you go.
There you go. What do you want?
How's that for a shout-out?
A shout-out.
I'm going to shout out the good folks of Landers, California, the residents. They have a moose lodge there. They apparently are a good lot of people. Have a nice little thrift store that they do, I suppose.
Yeah.
Want to see what's going on with that? Shout out to the late George Van Tassel.
We do shout out to you mentioned Castle.
Give another one.
A shout out to these Castle people, and they also the barmen in the castle that they were talking about.
Are we talking about in Landers?
In the Landers.
There is a nice bar there called Landers Brew.
Shout out to you guys.
Yeah, so we will be going there. You better believe. We want to check out Landers Brew. Shout out to you.
Shout out to you.
Yeah, I guess that's it.
That's it.
That should be all.
That's it.
Uncle, the podcast has Instagram and Twitter profiles. So we're at Uncle Podcast, Instagram and Twitter. Please follow that. Engage with us on Twitter, and Uncle will tweet at you, as we mentioned before, with a speech to text.
Speech to text. Ever you want to have to know something, I'll text out to you. If the phone lets me.
Yep. We'll see how that turns out. It's always interesting.
Yeah.
So please do follow us on social media. The website is unclethepodcast.com. Subscribe. Uncle, we got some new patrons on Patreon. A lot of Patreon action this week.
Who do we have?
Aaron and Melissa Dykes, and then 2 other folks that I don't have up at the moment.
Oh, that's regular people from St. Pete.
No, but there are people in one sense. So we'll go with that. Sounds good.
I know who they are. I know who they are. And when they would talk on the New Evolution, they were on.
There we go.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about. And they had that. They were on that too.
Yep. So we hope you enjoyed Uncle's New Year's Revolution. If you didn't experience it, go back and listen to the show or watch it on YouTube. It's posted in perpetuity for you to go back at your leisure and enjoy.
Right.
Give us some feedback and join us next year for the New Year's Revolution 2021.
Yeah, we do. You know where that's going to be.
Might be in the desert. Who knows?
Might be there.
Could
be.
It'd be fun. It'd be a good party.
Yeah. When is it for?
All right, so UncleThePodcast.com. Again, we're live on Ochelli.com every Friday night here at 11 p.m. Eastern. Uncle, the show's over. What do you have to say?
Well, that's it. Bye-bye. Not much to say. So long.
And I'll just give a shout-out to the Street Cream. Uncle.
Street Cream.
Say bye-bye again, Uncle.
Bye-bye. And I'm saying bye-bye and say sweet cream.